said, "Do you have something flavored?" And I'm thinking, are you eating this stuff or wearing it?
Yeah, yeah. I think, don't you think, so romantic things were part of the...
They're a big thing.
Yeah, a big thing, and especially right
On the
now,
top
for
10.
some reason, people are looking for romance.
Romantic movies, romantic
Flavored
encounters.
lip balm I can see being an asset
Hey,
on
yeah.
the romance department.
Here's another DIY. I'm just handed this by my wife. This is a mix of, it's apple cider vinegar, water, strawberries, honey, and tea.
Yeah.
And this mix is a healthy mix, and it's flavorful, and we let it set out, and we let it ferment just a tad. It's not alcoholic, but it has that kick to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is an alcohol replacement DIY. It's non-alcoholic.
How does it stop? How do you stop the fermentation process?
Well, it is sitting out, but it
That's
doesn't
not a
get,
face of
it
pleasure
doesn't-
there.
It doesn't get it's got a little bit of a kick to it. What I'm saying is it doesn't taste just like alcohol. It doesn't have the same effect, but it's a natural thing for people that like something that tastes a certain way.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
Again,
DIY.
It's DIY.
Yeah, it's a big thing today. And I'm trying to get into making videos of DIY myself, and it's a part of my love for these little projects that I want to do. You know, I need to build a piece of furniture for my room. I have a desk in there that doesn't really suit me, but it is suitable for something else. And so I've got some old wood that I've had for years. It's 200 years old. It was sawn from the tree. You know, and I want to build a desk out of that, and I want to do it myself, and I want to put a video on YouTube to show, you know, that you can do it.
That's great. One of the guests on my show recently has pianodesk.com. His name is Steve. He put together old pianos that were no longer functioning. He tunes them, but ones that don't function, he makes furniture out of, old pianos. And you're talking about making a desk out of something several hundred years old, very old piece of
Different
material.
ages. You gave me a desk that didn't work out for you, and it's got
60.
some great wood in it, some tiger stripe. I think it may be maple,
So,
but I'm going to use it
so you're
as part of
using,
it.
I think they call it repurposing, when they're
Repurposing.
redoing a lot of these older things
Yeah.
and making them into furniture or other useful items for today.
Why? Because we saw on there something about people supplying the products for
That's
somebody
the
else.
very
to
next
do.
item is raw materials for jewelry and crafts. As we mentioned in our post, Best Products Sourcing Strategies for Artisans and Craftspeople, one of the hardest parts of selling handmade products, you know what it is, to sell them online, is managing the supplies.
Yeah.
And if
it
you
really
were
is.
supplying the supplies, then you would have a business as well.
Yeah. And to get somebody who's actually successfully doing it themselves to be buying the products they use to do it themselves from you.
Yes.
That's one DIY success story that's going on right now in e-commerce, the
It's-
exchange online.
Especially if you're creating custom goods.
Yeah.
You need a wide range of materials on hand to be prepared for any type of order.
Yeah. When I went through recovery for alcohol, one of the ways that I supported myself or made up the difference in what I needed to live was to do hemp jewelry. I
Okay,
bought
yeah.
silver-lined glass beads of all different colors, and then I bought some dyes and miles of just regular hemp string that I could dye it any color I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it got me through. It actually worked. It was successful. And what I did was I actually just made things that I liked.
That's perfect.
And then people came in and was as creative as I could be to make it something unique, clearly unique and personal to me that I could enjoy myself. And as people, and I just laid it out on a table in the break room and started doing it.
Cool.
And people would come in, see what I was doing, and say, you know, they would look through all my stuff and say, you know, I want this, and this put together on this and
There
done
you
this
go.
way. And they saw me doing it all, so
Yeah.
they knew I could do it for them. And I ended up selling quite a bit of stuff that, you know, it made up the
Yeah,
difference.
that's fantastic. We're both describing different ways you can do it yourself and different ideas that you have. Do what you like to do and transfer that into some market. There's something I just learned I want to share. And the second best Etsy shop is called Yakutum, Yakutum. Have you heard of it?
No.
I hadn't. It sells raw materials for jewelry, clasps, studs, ring settings, earring hooks, chains, beads, and charms. Yakutum is a specific platform for that, for the materials.
Etsy is where I got my materials.
So that's the second best Etsy shop is Yakutum, only for, it's specific to the raw materials for jewelry and crafts.
That's excellent.
There's some vendors switch to a business-to-business model and sell crafting supplies directly to other vendors online. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing.
And that's what they do
It's
themselves.
a secondary, yeah.
So they're not actually making anything
No.
out of it. They're just managing materials that they know
Right.
are commonly being used right now. So when people search it and look for it, they find them.
So say you don't know how to put together the jewelry that way, but you have the materials, you're going to be in business as well for that. There's
Or if you're tired of looking for a material for your DIY and you can never find what you're looking for, you know, you can relieve that part of the demand in the market by actually producing that very thing you can't find.
yes, yes. So I'm going to have you guess a question, an answer to a question, because it's so funny. The very next thing I think we can transition into before we have to go is natural snacks for pets.
Oh, my. Oh, right.
Now, the question is, in the United States alone, how many dollars was the industry in 2019 for pet food production? How many dollars?
Not the healthy snacks
This is in
DIY segment, but
no,
all
but
together.
this is all pet food in 2019 in the U.S.
For a year?
for 1 year.
For 1 year, oh boy.
One year-
I'm going to say 5 billion.
It is 26 billion.
26 billion.
That is an industry that is huge.
That is massive.
It's massive. I got goosebumps thinking how huge
That is.
the pet food industry really is. And much of the pet food industry, not very good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's filler. So the really good food is very well sought after. It is
Yeah.
extremely important. Providing natural snacks for pets is a huge market.
Yeah.
Because of that.
You know, and for all of this, I love this because it's a really kind of a hobby thing for me, and I would like to find a way for it to be able to make a living through it, you know? And what I find interesting is the next step that you take it to, and that's really it's the do it yourself. But e-commerce is the part that's so easy to forget and so intimidating, is to transform that hobby, that do-it-yourself thing, into something that's to get it into the market and to keep up on that enough that you're continuing to
Sure.
build a customer base and have people come back. So
Yeah.
you're making a good product that people are going to want again. It also has to kind of be a consumable,
Yes.
something that's not going to last forever.
Well, there's something interesting in the real world that happened maybe 15 years ago. A friend of mine was on staff at a large church. He got married. His wife was just doing something on the side, just marketing little oil lamps.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then all of a sudden, before you know it, we start hearing more about this. They're spreading out nationwide and they're full-time into little oil lamps. It became storefronts. It became everything just based on her online hobby 15 years ago.
Doing it herself and sticking to it,
He was
continuing
able
to be there.
Yeah, he stepped out of a salaried position into that full-time.
Wow.
It's amazing. Little oil lamps.
Wow.
So she found a niche or a niche or whatever. It was one specific audience, and it
Yeah.
really goes. I'm trying to be encouraged to say, don't try to spread all your stuff everywhere. Go to one audience and do it well.
Yeah,
That
I
really
think so.
works. I think that really works.
And to stick with it. You know, just like here at Axe Ministry, we did this ourselves.
I know,
And
you
we
guys-
stayed with it for 5 years with no real result. I mean, except for you guys. I mean, we have a great audience who's loyal. They tune
Yes.
in and they comment and they are interested in us. They want to know where Matt is.
Coming in Monday through Friday for years.
Yeah, for years.
And most people, they just want it to happen really quickly and see all the results and then
Doesn't
leave,
work that way.
leave if they don't do it. And
Then all of a sudden people start coming along and saying, you know, I think I might want to be a part of this. Right? And here you
there
are.
I am.
Yeah. And if we hadn't stuck to it for the 5 years without a big dream result,
Right.
you know what I mean? That I'm going to be a billionaire in 5
right.
years, but that I'm going to be here in 5 years.
Because honestly, when I came along, if you hadn't have done all that work in advance, then I wouldn't have seen anything to be part of. And most people just like, I'll probably just have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is the somewhere else for some people.
So stick with it. Find something you enjoy. Do it yourself.
don't give up.
Market yourself on the e-commerce platforms that are available. You know, find ways to connect and show people what you got.
Whether it's
Stick with
whether
it.
it's bath bombs or broadcasts, right?
If you like bath bombs, it's no big deal to make two instead of one. Use the one for yourself. Have the one there for 5 years, and when somebody comes along to buy it, bam, you sold it. And it takes time. It does. And stick with it. Do what you love.
Thanks for being with us. I
Yeah,
know
we got 30 seconds. I'm going to bring the music in.
I
What
feel
do you
like
think?
I feel like the audience got shortchanged today because of technology.
Yeah.
But when that happens, we just keep going because we're going to produce something that's recorded for later
Yeah.
And it's still going to be valuable because a lot of people want to do it themselves. Maybe they're encouraged to do that online and really make a market. If you have that experience, let us know. Always put in your comments whether you're watching live or not. We'd love to see that and hear from you, the audience.
Yeah. Whoa. I don't know what I did there.
We never know what we'll do today.
I know.
It's just another thing. Until next time. This has been Johnny Rooster and
Jay.
Johnny and Jay.
Johnny and Jay. JJ.
It's got a nice sound.
That was one of my nicknames from my mom.
There you go.
JJ.
Coming back.
Yep. So we love you all. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. And the next show
and
is
after this is
the Johnny Rooster Show.
Morning
So
Mouth.
tune back in for that, the Morning Mouth. And I'm going to figure out how to get out of here because I've lost track of what I'm doing.